Hey, this is Rabbi Patrick from Rabbi Son. Producer Kayleigh is out of town, so here's another Best of Rabbi Son episode. Enjoy, and we'll see you next week.
First Shabbat, you come downstairs, and there's like little books on the table.
Mm.
We gave you a bencher that was the conservative movement's bencher, so it's Hebrew and English and the transliteration, the phonetic spelling.
Mm.
And I remember you kind of looked at it, and you were just like, you were just kind of going along with it. You were being cool about it. I know, though, that after that, you were just like, okay, I don't need to open this thing ever again.
I mean, because I hear you say it, like,
right.
I don't know what it means, but like,
all right, well, you should actually look at it sometime. We were talking about prayer in Judaism, and you were like, wait, so you're praying? And we're like, yeah, that's what that is.
Yeah.
They're pre-written prayers. So your part in all of it is you slice the challah. That's your thing. And that was something that I actually decided to offer to you as like something that would be your thing, because it was important to me that you have something that you could do, that you weren't just kind of like observing, but that wasn't something that was going to like ask anything of you that was religious. And then I remember one time you asked if we could have queso.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we had like queso that we dipped. We haven't done that in a really long time. I decided to make yourself a sandwich. I see the washed pan sitting on top of the stove, which, I mean, I guess thank you for washing the pots and pans. But
because I was raised.
But tell me what was on said sandwich.
It was a turkey and cheese sandwich. Yes, it was.
Okay. So, I had some conversations with you about this situation of meat, dairy, pans, kosher pans.
Well, to be fair, I've never seen you cook any like meat on that pan.
Right, because it's a dairy pan.
Yeah, I was cooking dairy.
You were also cooking meat. You were cooking turkey. What do you have to say for yourself, sir?
People have to eat.
Right. Do we have to get you like a separate pan?
No, because I like that pan.
Right, but it is our dairy pan. It is not a meat pan, and it's not a mixing meat and milk pan. So I'm motivated to get you this panini press so that you'll stop messing up my pans.
Yeah, panini press.
Separate. So that was a pretty pro move on your part to like mess up the pans multiple times.
Yes, but water cleanses.
That's not how it works. That's not how it works.
Yes, it does. If I throw dirt on you and you go take a shower, aren't you clean?
Yeah, but there's more to it in Judaism. We have to make it more complicated all the time. We don't have a don't ask, don't tell policy when it comes to the kosher status of our pots and pans, or anything else in this household for that matter.
Yeah, panini maker.
Kids, Jewish world, we need to have a discussion. We don't talk about adoption enough. There are nonprofits. They're very focused on questions of Jewish fertility. I'm with that 100,000%. Have those conversations, offer that connection, offer that friendship, that community. People need that. Infertility is really hard. But talk about adoption too. If I put in the word adoption into Instagram, what do you think comes up? It should super insult you.
I don't know.
Adopting dogs.
Oh.
That's the main thing that comes up. Like, really? That's where we are now? When we think of adopting, the first thing we think of is a golden retriever and not a human being. There's only 2 groups online that I can find that talk about it, okay? One doesn't even have a website. They send you a mailer. And then the other is not focused on adoption, right? It's involved in building some community around people who are somewhere in the adoption process, but it's not getting kids placed. I know that people are going to come at me and say, well, what about Jewish Family Services? Hopefully they're helping with those home studies, providing that legal care, providing those licensed clinical social workers to help. But gosh, nobody talks about it. And honestly, going to go out on a limb here, if the numbers were that high, I think we would be talking about it. We need to talk more about adoption. We need to focus on adoption. We need to make adoption something that is just as normal a conversation as talking about infertility. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Oh my goodness, where do I want to go with this even? Like, honestly, so first of all...
You want to ask her to convert.
That's where this is really going. This is what you actually want. You want to ask her to convert. Okay, so that's the first thing you're going to have to actually contend with. There's nothing we can do about like the previous relationship with like
the thing is, he should have thought about that before knocking boots. It is these are important conversations that need to be had prior to doing things
Oh, sure.
that, would...
But people also change over time, right? We don't know, how much of this was like she was always not into Judaism and he was always more religious. We don't really know. It could have been they were both on the same page and then he just became more religious over time. Like, we don't have the ex-wife's, like, side of the story, right? We also don't have the, I guess, girlfriends. Yeah, maybe girlfriend side of the story. He's thinking about this in the wrong order. Order number one is, if you feel like you need to be with someone who's Jewish, you are not with someone who's Jewish.
He said he doesn't like doing interfaith relationships. That's what he said.
And yet that's what he's in.
Exactly. So how's that person your soulmate when y'all aren't even on the same
page?
Exactly.
Right.
Nor do you like that thing about her.
Right.
So it's like, you're not soulmates, you're just saying words. And it's like, yeah, that's what happens when people jump into relationships and, don't take time.
This reads in a very non-linear, mixed up, confused way, probably because this is what's going on in the person's head.
Exactly. This person does not need to be in a relationship. They need to be focused on going to work, self-care, and being a dad.
Oh, dang.
Dad first.
Javon throws down the law.
Work second.
Everything else third.
And everything else third.
Yeah, I think what I would say to this person is, you are adamant that you're against something that you yourself are in. And you're talking poorly about the, mother of your child for not being religious. You are, and yet you're doing a thing that in this religion is a no-no. So, like, clearly you just have a lot going on. He probably has a very legitimate friendship, passionate relationship, whatever, with this woman, this Catholic woman, and that is sincere. I don't doubt that.
I doubt that.
Well, okay. I don't doubt the sincerity of the relationship. Focus on mitzvahs, focus on being a practicing Jew. Tell this person that you have had a relationship with, hey, look, we're not on the same page. We've broken up before. It's time to move on and move on. The question is whether the school should have to fund that. What I think would be interesting is if you polled the students there. Would you be willing to pay an extra $5 for there to be an LGBTQ club? If you want whatever for lack of a better word, right-wing modern Orthodox education is, you should be allowed to have it. You should also have a seminary where you can have LGBTQ plus inclusion and halakhic commitment. I don't think that those things are unreasonable.
For my personal first problem is the school literally arguing that since it's a religious institution that it doesn't have to, follow, state law in regards to discriminatory practices. I find that argument questionable.
Okay.
And I question the character of someone who would make that argument.
Okay.
That, those kids are paying those dues. It's not fair for them to have to pay those dues if you're not going to allow a club that they want to do. The club will not be required to submit any approval or oversight procedures that are not required by all student clubs. You are literally going against, your own code of conduct or whatever that you have as a university to target one specific student group.
That is called an administrative screw up.
How are you a Jewish educational institution and you're teaching, the Torah, and someone interprets the Torah differently than you, and then you're having a problem with it?
Well,
like, isn't that... I just found that completely, antithetical, to being Jewish in the first place.
Hey,
I said it.
You said it. I heard a study that said that Orthodox Jews in America feel more of a connection to evangelicals than they do progressive Jews. And just so that no one thinks I'm being a hater, progressive Jews feel more of a connection to non-religious people and to liberal Protestants than they do Orthodox Jews. So that means that whole middle is being completely hollowed out. And that's a problem. So Yeshiva University, in order to capture the largest pool it can, is going to have to keep moving to the right. And maybe somehow in the middle you'll grow open orthodoxy. Maybe. I think those people used to be called conservative back in the day. But now conservative Judaism has moved so far to the left, whatever that means, that, yeah.
I mean, but that's like...
It's just burning the candle from both ends.
Like, I get that you want to like keep up these practices,
Mhm.
but you have to, you have to modernize. Like,
Sure.
you modernize, or you're lost in the sauce.
Right.
Well, here's a quirky one. All the human beings die except Noah and his family, right? Okay. Everything on the earth dies, right? In the flood. It all drowns, right? It all gets destroyed, okay? But there's one type of creature that lives through the whole thing and is witness to the whole thing. Fish. The Torah never mentions the fish getting hurt. So in theory, the fish are all just swimming around. Like there's some sort of like
Yeah, so that
octopus
means you should
watching
eat
the whole
fish.
thing happen. That says you should be a fish?
That says you should eat fish.
Oh, that you should eat fish.
Yes. And the fish, no, seriously, like the whole thing about,
Oh, the shellfish thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, if shrimp, like if God thought that shrimp and lobster were so bad, like they would have died.
Interesting. Okay. That's a take.
So yeah,
We did promise people hot takes.
Yeah,
so.
just like imagine if like Noah fumbled it and like didn't get like, some of the animals drowned, and he was like, oh, what am I gonna eat? And then he only had the fish. There you go. I just feel like shellfish should be allowed. So just like, people should take this as a lesson. God killed 1 million people. You eating shellfish once in a while, it ain't gonna hurt. Just think about that. I'm just saying.
Thank you to our sponsors at Darshan Yeshiva for making this content possible. Darshan Yeshiva provides beginner-level online Jewish learning, including the very popular Conversion to Judaism program, with sponsoring rabbis and students all over the world. Start your Jewish journey any place, anywhere, and anytime with our conservative, reform, reconstructionist, Jewish renewal, humanistic, and post-denominational rabbi mentors. Become the Jew you always wanted to be with Darshan Yeshiva.